you do? Yes? Yeah? All right. Oh, you mean in Bhagavad Gita? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I know. How many times did you read Bhagavad Gita? Uh-huh.
We tend to subdivide human beings on the basis of countries, divisions, and everything, but we forget everything belongs to Krishna. So it's actually we subdivide it into boundaries, small, small divisions, but actually it all belongs to Krishna, right? So if you submit to him, you'll see that all of us are the same, beyond the materials. And that's where to connect. Exactly. Exactly. So
Okay.
that was very
Yeah. Very good points you're making. Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to the Circle of Influence. So we continue reading Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. And for those who haven't been to the Circle of Influence, it is a Tuesday Sangha that we have weekly at 6:30 p.m. Everyone is welcome. You can invite your friends. And we read Bhagavad Gita at the Circle of Influence. We discuss verses in order to see how much Bhagavad Gita answers of all of our life questions, how it's applicable to our life, how deep it is, and that it is full of wisdom if we read it with full attention and dedication. My name is Vrajalalana, for those who haven't seen me before. And before we start reading, we will do the mantra meditation. And the mantra meditation, who is here, is doing mantra meditation regularly? You're doing it regularly? Yeah? Okay. So, so everyone knows, right, about the Maha Mantra. Excellent. So the meaning of the Maha Mantra, can you please tell me why are we chanting mantra? What does it do to us? What is the purpose of it? Can you come closer? Yeah.
It brings the mind to a oneness,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not scattered. It's
Yeah.
like a laser focus.
Yeah. So yeah, basically it makes our mind kind of complete and self-sufficient, right? Yeah, and it's the only means of the purification of the mind. Perfect. Is there another reason why we do it? What happens if we don't control the mind? What happens to us, to our life, if we cannot control the mind?
We lose control.
Yeah, so how do we feel if the mind isn't control and we are not in control?
Powerless.
Hmm?
Powerless.
Powerless.
Miserable.
Miserable, yeah. So it can do to us whatever it likes. Yeah. And Maha Mantra is one of the most powerful ways to control the mind. Why? Because it purifies the mind. And before we start chanting the Maha Mantra today, I would like to read something from the Nectar of Instruction. I recommend reading this book to everyone. Nectar of Instruction is the book that you should use on a daily basis by Srila Prabhupada. And in text 1, Srila Prabhupada explains. So first of all, the text 1, I will read you a little bit of the Sanskrit. Vako vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udaro prastha vegam etan vegan yo vishahita dri thira sarvam apimam privritim sashishyad. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. And from the beginning, we're seeing a sober person. So a sober person is the one who is not controlled by his mind. So he can control the mind. Who can tolerate? Who is that sober person? He can tolerate the urge to speak. So usually people speak a lot, right? As soon as they have the opportunity to do that. Who can tolerate the mind demands. And the mind is very demanding. The actions of anger, a lot of people cannot tolerate the actions of anger of other people, like frustration, anger, and etc. And the urges of the tongue. So this is the text 1, and Srila Prabhupada gives us a very good explanation. Why is it important to chant the mantra? It's another way to look at it. Krishna is just like the sun, and Maya is just like the darkness. If the sun is present, there is no question of darkness. Similarly, if Krishna is present in the mind, there is no possibility of the minds being agitated by Maya's influence. So we get the protection from Maya when we invite Krishna through the Maha Mantra. He comes into our mind, he eliminates the mind, he purifies the mind. And in Isha Upanishad it is also said that Krishna himself is prophylactic and he can purify by his presence the whole planet. All we need to do is to turn towards him and get that purification. So the yogic process of negating all material thoughts will not help. To try to create a vacuum in the mind is artificial. The vacuum will not remain. However, if one always thinks of Krishna and how to serve Krishna best, one's mind will naturally be controlled. So today, when we chant Maha Mantra, I will ask you to think about the Lord, of His lotus feet, and to ask the Lord to fulfill your desire to be in your heart all the time, in your mind. Okay? And you will see how Lord fulfills our desires. So with this in mind, let's meditate on Krishna. Let's invite Him in our hearts and in our minds. And we will be using the beads. Does everyone have beads? Yeah? Okay. You need one? Okay. Again, the words of the Maha Mantra are here. And when you chant, please try to chant as loud as you can so that you can hear each other. So the mantra meditation is about our focus on the hearing and also about our desire to see, feel Krishna in our heart. Therefore, you can help each other by chanting loudly so that there is less distraction because you hear each other. Okay? Okay. Hare Krishna, let's begin. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mahamantra ki jai. Thank you very much for wonderful chanting. Let's give obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Guravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. Okay, so for those who are here for the first time, this is Tuesday Sangha called Circle of Influence. We have the Sangha every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. So you're welcome. Please invite your friends. We read Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We discuss, you have the opportunity to ask questions and understand Bhagavad Gita deeper and apply and see how it's applicable in your life. So we continue reading Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. Can someone give a quick overview, whatever you remember from our last reading, what you remember, what we discussed from chapter 2? Krishna was teaching Arjuna all of the symptoms of the soul. Is there anything that you remember and would like to mention? You can use the mic. Anyone? So I will start myself. So first of all, the soul is what? Eternal. Does it get born? Yes or no? The soul gets born? Yes, it's eternal. Does it die if it's eternal? No, it's not. Is it destructible? It's indestructible. And the most interesting thing, it's eternally the same. It never changes. And we also discussed the relationship between the super soul and the soul. What is the relationship? Who remembers? What is the relation? You can use the mic. Pass the mic. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember that the super soul is a bird who's observing everyone.
Yeah.
And it's not eating the fruit of the trees on which it is sitting because the tree belongs to the super soul.
Yeah.
And the soul, like Arjuna, it is separate from the super soul, but it is at times focusing, if it's not submitted to the super soul, it will be more focused on the fruits, material fruits from the trees.
That's right. And we'll enjoy what then in that case? The good and bad results, which is called
The bad results.
good and bad karma, right?
Karma, yes.
Yeah. So that's how we become influenced by the modes of material nature, which is karma. Okay. Anything else that you remember? What Krishna was teaching Arjuna from text 1 to 30 about the soul? What is the difference between super soul and soul? The soul is forgetful. That's why we don't remember our past. We don't remember our past lives. Super soul never forgets. Super soul remembers past, present, future, everything. Yes?
I recently read somewhere or heard that like kids, like really young kids remember their past lives.
Yeah.
So we get more forgetful as we get older?
If Paramatma allows everything, and it's another thing, what is the role of the Paramatma, which is the super soul? What is the role of the super soul? What does it do in our heart? So there are two souls sitting in our heart. Soul, individual soul, and the super soul. So what does the super soul do? Yeah. It authorizes the actions, feelings, desires of the individual soul. So if Paramatma wants us to remember, we will remember. If he doesn't want, then then we won't remember. Yeah, everything belongs to the Lord. Everything comes from him. Knowledge, forgetfulness, everything. Okay, so we stopped on text number 30, and then we read actually text number 30, but we'll continue with text number 34. Hare Krishna. 31. So it's chapter 2, text number 31. Okay, and for those who are here for the first time, we will be reading from like clockwise. Clockwise, I believe it's like this, right? Or we can start. Usually we start from here. Maybe today we'll start from here, from this side. Okay, and the first text I will read, it's going to be Sanskrit translation and one paragraph per person. So once you finish paragraph, you can pass the mic to the next person, and the next person will continue, okay? So text 31. Swadharmam api chavekshya dharmyati utyacheyonyat. Hold on. Just a sec. Swadharmam api chavekshya navikam pitomarhasi dharmyati utyachreyonyat kshatriyasyana vidyate. Translation. Considering your specific duty as a kshatriya, and kshatriya is the one who protects from evil actions, so it's a protector. You should know that there is no better engagement for you than fighting on religious principles, and so there is no need for hesitation. So from text 31, Krishna starts explaining to Arjuna the role of the specific duties. And Arjuna's duty, he's a kshatriya, to fight based on the religious principles. Purport. Out of the 4 orders of social administration, the second order for the matter of good administration is called kshatriya. Kshat means herd. One who gives protection from harm is called kshatriya. Trayate, to give protection. The kshatriyas are trained for killing in the forest. A kshatriya would go into the forest and challenge a tiger face to face and fight with the tiger with his sword. When the tiger was killed, it would be offered the royal order of cremation. This system has been followed even up to the present day by the Kshatriya king of Jaipur state. The Kshatriyas are specifically trained for challenging and killing because religious violence is sometimes a necessary factor. Therefore, Kshatriyas are never meant for accepting directly the order of sannyasa or renunciation. Non-violence in politics may be a diplomacy, but it is never a factor or principle. So here the Lord, Srila Prabhupada, is explaining the meaning of the word kshatriya so that we can understand what it means. And kshatriyas, basically as it's explained here, are the ones who protect. So Arjuna is that protector, okay? And we can, continue here.
Ahavesu mitho nionam jigama santo mahi kasita yadu maneha param saktya swargam yanti aparan mukaha yajnesu pasavo brahman hanyante sattadrim dvijay samskritah kila mantrayas ja devi tapi swargam svapanovam. In the battlefield, a king or kshatriya, while fighting another king envious of him, is eligible for achieving the heavenly planets after death, as the Brahmanas also attain the heavenly planets by sacrificing animals in the sacrificial fire. Therefore, killing on the battlefield on religious principles and killing animals in the sacrificial fire are not at all considered to be acts of violence, because everyone is benefited by the religious principles involved. The animal sacrificed gets a human life immediately without undergoing the gradual evolutionary process from one form to another, and the kshatriya killed on the battlefield also attain the heavenly planets, as do the brahmanas who attain them by offering sacrifice.
So here we are discussing the two orders, administrative orders, kshatriyas and brahmanas, and the examples are given that by fulfilling our prescribed duties, we actually attain higher level of life. So it's a purifying process to fulfill our duties properly. Okay.
There are two kinds of seva dharmas, specific duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of his particular body in accordance with religious principles in order to achieve liberation. When one is liberated, one's seva dharma, specific duty, becomes spiritual and not in the material bodily concept. In the bodily conception of life, there are specific duties for the brahmanas and kshatriyas respectively, and these duties are unavoidable. Such seva dharma is ordained by the Lord and thus will be clarified in the 4th chapter. On the bodily plane, seva dharma is called varnasmana dharma, or a man's stepping stone for spiritual understanding. Human civilization begins from the stage of varnasma dharma, or specific duties in terms of specific modes of nature of the body obtained. Discharging one's specific duty in any field of action in accordance with the orders of higher authorities serves to elevate one to the higher status of life.
Yes, so this is the importance again of fulfilling our specific duties, and as confirmed here that we acquire the specific duties depending on how we are influenced by the modes of nature. There are 3 different modes of nature, and we will discuss it further in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so let's continue.
Sorry, I don't know how to read
The Sanskrit.
Yeah.
At the end of the book, you can train yourself a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can train the pronunciation. You can also sing it. Da 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 da. Try, maybe that will help.
Should I try it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yat truchya kopananam svarga davanam aparvatam sukana ktsatya partha lavanta yudam yitrasam.
Perfect.
O translation, O Partha, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors of the heavenly planets.
Yeah, so Krishna is showing that Arjuna, it's actually Arjuna's great opportunity, right? To have this opportunity to protect, and first of all, he's protecting the devotees of the Lord. Okay.
As supreme teacher of the world, Lord Krishna condemns the attitude of Arjuna, who said, I do not find any good in this fighting. It will cause perpetual habitation in hell. Such statements by Arjuna were due to ignorance only. He wanted to become non-violent in the discharge of his specific duty. For a Kshatriya to be on the battlefield and to become non-violent in the philosophy of fools, in the Parasara Smriti, or religious codes made by Parasara, the great sage and the father of Vyasadeva, it is stated. Do you want me to continue?
If you're comfortable, yeah.
Katsuchyo hi paraja vakasan satstara paranin parandanyam nirjitya parasan yadi kitsyam dharman palayata. The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizens from all kinds of difficulties, and for that reason he has to apply violence in suitable cases for law and order. Therefore he has to conquer the soldiers of inimical kings, and thus with religious principles he should rule over the world. Parasam Smriti 1.61.
Thank you.
Considering all aspects, Arjuna had no reasons to refrain from fighting. If he should conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom, and if he should die in the battle, he would be elevated to heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open to him. Fighting would be for his benefit in either case.
Yeah. So how can we apply this knowledge in our life? Like this is a good example where for Arjuna, who is a Kshatriya, and for him, fulfilling his duty opens the door for the heavenly planets. Not only he serves the Lord directly. So how is it applicable for us? All of us have our prescribed duties. Mm-hmm.
Just do our actions, knowing that it is correct and submit the results to Krishna, irrespective of what the results are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that will
Mm-hmm.
help us, because even if we don't get the right results, it's a direction towards the right step.
Okay. Yeah. So if I understood you correctly, you were talking about the results, not being attached to the results, right? This is very helpful in fulfilling our duties, right? Yeah. Focus on the duty. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is a good point. Anybody else would like to share? How is it helpful for us? Sometimes our duties are not so much pleasurable, right? And deviating from the duties, as it said here, will not take us to anywhere. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue.
Ata Sit Tvam.
Last paragraph. Considering.
Considering all aspects, Arjuna had no reason to refrain from fighting. If he should conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom. And if he should die in battle, he would be elevated into the heavenly planets, whose doors were wide open to him. Fighting would be for his benefit in either case.
Yeah, I remember we read it. It's okay. Okay, we can continue with text 33.
Ata Sit Tvam imam dharma yam sankramam na karisyasi tat swadharmam kritam sa hitva papam avapayasi. If, however, you do not perform this religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur the sins of neglecting your duties, and thus lose your reputation as a fighter.
And there are two very important points. So when we don't fulfill our duties, right, we incur sin and we lose their reputation. Yeah, so it's very important to remember.
Arjuna was a famous fighter, and he attained fame by fighting many great demigods, including even Lord Shiva. After fighting and defeating Lord Shiva in a dress of a hunter, Arjuna pleased the Lord and received as a reward a weapon called Pasupata Sastra. Everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Even Dronacharya gave him benedictions and awarded him a special weapon by which he could kill even his teacher. So he was credited with so many military certificates from many authorities, including his adopted father Indra, the heavenly king. But if he abandoned the battle, not only would he neglect his specific duty as a Kshatriya, but he would lose all his fame and good name, thus prepare his royal road to hell. In other words, he would go to hell by not fighting, but by withdrawing from battle.
Yeah, so Srila Prabhupada gives us a thorough explanation how we should approach, again, by following the example of Arjuna, which should be our attitude towards our duties. And just let's imagine a person who received so many awards and now deviating from fulfilling his duties when the situation actually requires his involvement. It's a very difficult situation. Okay.
Akirtim cha api bhutani kathyayisanti te vayam sambhavitasya chakirtir maranad atiryichayate. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death.
And Krishna is giving here a consequence again. So over there he spoke like how not it is good for a man with a reputation not to fulfill his duties, and here is the consequence. So he's going deeper and deeper, layer by layer.
Both as friend and philosopher to Arjuna, Lord Krishna now gives his final judgment regarding Arjuna's refusal to fight. The Lord says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield before the battle even begins, people will call you a coward. And if you think that people may call you bad names, but that you will save your life by fleeing the battlefield, then my advice is that you do better to die in the battle. For a respectable man like you, ill fame is worse than death. So you should not flee for fear of your life, better to die in the battle. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society. So the final judgment of the Lord was for Arjuna to die in the battle and not withdraw.
Yeah. So the conditions are very difficult, right? It will save you from ill faith of misusing my friendship. It's so difficult to accept.
Bhayadrayanat uparatam mamasyante tvam maharatna yasam cha tvam bahumato bhutavayasyasi laghavam. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant.
And
But-
how do you think for a warrior to have this reputation? It's really bad, right?
Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna. Do you think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna, and other contemporaries will think that you have left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfathers? They will think that you have left out of fear of your life, and thus the higher estimation of your personality will go to hell.
Yes, and plus Arjuna is a great example for other warriors, so his reputation may affect all others who follow him. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, whoever didn't make it, yeah.
Your animals will describe you.
So we do Sanskrit and then translation and one paragraph.
Okay.
36, 236.
Avacha vadam sabhun vadishyanti tava hilata nindantas tava samartham yam tato dukhna tarim nukim.
Yeah, translation.
Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion.
So why do you think Krishna is calling it, Srila Prabhupada explaining it as a so-called compassion, not real compassion? Why is it so called? Anyone can answer. What is compassion? Kindness, yeah. And why is it so cold? He's saying it's a so-called compassion. It's not a true compassion. Because what? That's right. And one of the wrong things was what? Blaspheming a devotee, because Draupadi was a very good friend of Krishna. She was a very dear devotee of the Lord. So when somebody is blaspheming, it was a big offense, right? It was a big offense. Yeah, so what should Kshatriya do? What should the devotee do if another devotee is blasphemed? He should not allow. And when we speak about Kshatriya, right, he has to protect. And now this so-called compassion is based on what? Why is it so cold? Why it's not true? Fear, lamentation, text, yeah? Chapter 1, lamentation for the body, bodily attachment. Yeah, because relatives, that's right, feelings, and there is no thinking of the soul because he doesn't have any knowledge of the soul at that time. And Krishna is explaining this knowledge, so he is basically purifying Arjuna's mind. He's giving knowledge. He spoke about the soul, now he speaks about the duties, which is also purifying. That's why it's not a true compassion. It's based on fear and attachment. Thank you.
37. Hato va prapyasi savarkam jitva va bokshyase mahim tasmat utisha kantaya yudhaya karta nishkaye. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. Even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, he still had to fight. For even being killed there, he could be elevated into the heavenly planets.
So what is the message for us here in this verse? In the cases of uncertainty, what should we do? Let's consider two approaches. There is an uncertain situation and the result is not guaranteed. What happens if we are attached to the result? We know our specific duty, but we are attached to the result. What's going to happen then? What kind of attitude will reveal itself if there is attachment to the result? Yeah. For example, you're a student in the university and you think you won't pass. And if there is a tendency to attach to the result, I want to get those marks, but you think you won't pass, so what would be the attitude? That's right. They are not focused well. They don't want to study well. They don't focus well, right? Yeah, because the attachment is on the way. So Arjuna is in a situation which doesn't show certainty for him. Krishna knows, but he doesn't know. And what changes if we are detached? We are not attached to the result, but we just do what we have to do. Thank you so much. What is it?
So, when we set goals, is this like attachment to the results?
We can set the goals. It's not an attachment.
Goal is like the result. One way we think this is the result that we want. So I think that's the goal.
No, goal and desire are different things. So goal is a goal. You think this is right, and that can be your goal. But then what is the attitude to fulfilling the goal, the steps, right, that you are taking? What is the attitude? It can be, we can be too much attached to the result and we think, oh, probably I won't achieve that goal, that's why I won't try. I'll go to the forest and meditate. I won't try. You know what I mean? Yeah, or you may think, no matter whether I achieve or I don't achieve, I'll do what I have to do. Yeah. How does it feel? Clarifying? Yeah? Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's continue. Text 38.
Sukha dukhe same kritva labha jaya jayu tato yudhaya yajyasva nevam pupam avapasyasi. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur sin.
So we have to remember this as a rule of life. So this verse, it has to be a rule of life. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting. So in other words, act for the sake of the process, okay? Without considering happiness or distress, because when we fulfill our duty, there can be different situations. Bad mood, quarrel, bad weather, sickness, different situations. Loss or gain, victory or defeat. We may not believe in ourselves, we may think, oh, it won't happen, I won't be successful, right? And by doing so, you shall never incur sin. Okay? Yeah, this is a very important verse.
Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjuna should fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle. There is consideration of happiness, so there's no consideration of happiness or distress, profit or loss, victory or defeat in the activities of Krishna consciousness.
Can I ask you a question? Why? Why there is no consideration of those things in Krishna consciousness? Why do you think we are not considering this? Happiness and distress, profit or loss, victory or defeat. When we serve the Lord, why we're not considering these things? Products of what? So why are we not considering them?
Because everything belongs to Krishna, being Krishna conscious, and when we act on anything, it's not us, like it doesn't belong to us. And
Yeah.
result,
Yeah?
results for Krishna.
Yeah. So these things, they are outcomes of what? The distress, profit or loss. These are the outcomes of the material nature. Okay, so we are not following the rules of the material nature. So these are the modes. We will learn it more. This comes from the modes of material nature, which is dual. It's duality. Our material nature is duality, and material nature doesn't guarantee happiness all the time. Constant happiness. Constant happiness is spiritual world. It doesn't exist in the material world. So we shouldn't consider in Krishna consciousness these things. We do not take them into consideration because this is just the material nature. Krishna consciousness is above all. So we're not followed by this. Okay? We're not, basically, we do not put ourselves under the rule of the modes of material nature, which is, of course, the attachment, right? And from attachment comes the fear and etc. Okay, let's continue.
That everything should be performed for the sake of Krishna is transcendental consciousness, so there is no reaction to material activities. He who acts for his own sense gratification, either in goodness or in passion, is subject to the reaction, good or bad. But he who has completely surrendered himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness is no longer obliged to anyone, nor is he a debtor to anyone. As one is in the ordinary course of activities, it is said, Devarsi bhata pata narnam pitrinam na kinkaro nayam rani cha rajan sarva mand yaha saranam saranyam gato mukundam parihartya kartam. Anyone who has completely surrendered unto Krishna Mukunda, giving up all other duties, is no longer a debtor, nor is he obliged to anyone, not the demigods, not the sages, nor the people in general, nor kinsmen, nor humanity, nor forefathers. Bhagavatam 11.5.41. That is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna in this verse, and the matter will be more clearly explained in the following verses.
Yes, perfect. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Esa te bhita sankhya buddhir yoge tav imansmu buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandhan praharsyasi. Thus far I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. O son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works.
Yeah, and Krishna continues here. He looks at the same situation from different angles. So he, as he says, he explained it from analytical studies, and now he will explain it from the point of working without fruitive results. So he will be helping Arjuna to, again, get rid of his attachments.
According to Nirukti, or the Vedic dictionary, Sankhya means that which describes things in detail, and Sankhya refers to that philosophy which describes the real nature of the soul, and yoga involves controlling the senses. Arjuna's proposal not to fight was based on sense gratification. Forgetting his prime duty, he wanted to cease fighting because he thought that by not killing his relatives and kinsmen, he would be happier than by enjoying the kingdom after conquering his cousins, the sons of Dhritarashtra. In both ways, the basic principles were for sense gratification. Happiness derived from conquering them and happiness derived by seeing kinsmen alive are both the basis of personal sense gratification, even at a sacrifice of wisdom and duty. Krishna therefore wanted to explain to Arjuna that by killing the body of his grandfather, he would not be killing the soul proper. And he explained that all individual persons, including the Lord himself, are eternal individuals. They were individuals in the past, they are individuals in the present, and they will continue to remain individuals in the future, because all of us are individual souls eternally. We simply change our bodily dress in different manners, but actually we keep our individuality even after liberation from the bondage of material dress. An analytical study of the soul and the body has been very graphically explained by Lord Krishna, and this descriptive knowledge of the soul and the body from different angles of vision has been described as Sankhya in terms of Nirukti dictionary. The Sankhya has nothing to do with the Sankhya philosophy of atheist Kapila. Long before the impostor Kapila's Sankhya, the Sankhya philosophy was expounded in the Srimad Bhagavatam by the true Lord Kapila, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, who explained it to his mother, Devahuti. It is clearly explained by him that the Purusha or Supreme Lord is active and he creates by looking over the Prakriti. This is accepted in the Vedas and in the Gita. The description of the Vedas indicates that the Lord glanced over the Prakriti or nature and impregnated it with atomic individual souls. All these individuals are working in the material world for sense gratification, and under the spell of material energy, they're thinking of being and enjoyers. This mentality is dragged to the last point of liberation when the living entity wants to become one with the Lord. This is the last snare of Maya or sense gratification illusion, and it is only after many, many births of such sense gratificatory activities that a great soul surrenders unto Vasudeva, Lord Krishna, thereby fulfilling the search after the ultimate truth.
So the sense gratification can even go into the liberation. So people try, like a soul can try to liberate through the sense gratification, even for the pleasure, right? So again, I liked very much this point. Another consideration of a sense gratification is the sacrifice of wisdom and duty for the sake of pleasure. Well, we don't want to do what we have to do, right? And we sacrifice our wisdom and duty for the sake of pleasure. Yeah, that's a very good point. Okay.
Arjuna has already accepted Krishna as his spiritual master by surrendering himself unto him. Sisyati ham sadi man tavam parapanam. Consequently, Krishna will now tell him about the working process in Buddha Yoga or Karma Yoga, or in other words, the practice of devotional service only for the sense gratification of the Lord. This Buddha Yoga is clearly explained in chapter 10, verse 10, as being direct communion with the Lord, who is sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart. But such communion does not take place without devotional service. One who is therefore situated in devotional or transcendental loving service to the Lord, or in other words, in Krishna consciousness, attains to this state of Buddha Yoga by the special glance of the Lord. The Lord says, therefore, that only to those who are always engaged in devotional service out of transcendental love does he award the pure knowledge of devotion and love. In that way, the devotee can reach him easily in the ever blissful kingdom of God.
So what is the way to get the love of Godhead?
Devotional service.
Devotional service, yes.
Thus, the Buddha Yoga mentioned in the verse is devotional service of the Lord, and the word Sankhya mentioned herein has nothing to do with the aesthetic Sankhya Yoga insinuated by the impostor Kapila. One should not therefore misunderstand that the Sankhya Yoga mentioned herein has any connection with the aesthetic Sankhya, nor did that philosophy has any influence during that time, nor would Lord Krishna care to mention that godless philosophical speculations. Real Sankhya philosophy is described by Lord Kapila in the Srimad Bhagavatam, but even that Sankhya has nothing to do with the current topics. Here the Sankhya means analytical description of the body and the soul. Lord Krishna made an analytical description of soul just to bring Arjuna to the point of Buddhi Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, Lord Krishna's Sankhya and Lord Kapila's Sankhya as described in Bhagavatam are one and the same. They are Bhakti Yoga. Lord Krishna said therefore that only the less intelligent class of men make the distinction between Sankhya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Sankhya Yoga pratakya balaha pravadantina panditaha. Of course, aesthetic Sankhya Yoga has nothing to do with the Bhakti Yoga, yet the unintelligent claim that aesthetic Sankhya Yoga is referred in Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
One should therefore understand the Buddhi Yoga means to work in Krishna consciousness, in the full bliss and knowledge of devotional service. One who works for the satisfaction of the Lord only, however difficult such work may be, is working under the principles of Buddhi Yoga and finds himself always in transcendental bliss. By such transcendental engagement, one achieves all transcendental understanding automatically by the grace of the Lord, and thus his liberation is complete in itself, without his making extraneous endeavors to acquire knowledge. There is much difference between work in Krishna consciousness and work for fruitive results, especially in the matter of sense gratification, for achieving results in terms of family or mental happiness. Buddhi Yoga is therefore transcendental quality of work that we perform.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. So how is it applicable again to our lives? So this paragraph as an example. So, but transcendental engagements, right? One achieves all transcendental understanding automatically. Did you have any cases like that when something was very difficult and you would probably had no solution for that, and you would go for devotional service and you would get the answer? Does anyone have such examples? Yeah? Yeah? Okay.
I'll give the example.
Yeah.
So I was applying for Indian visa,
Uh-huh.
and that was during a time I was very busy,
Yeah.
and I wasn't able to get. I was too tired to go to the appointment,
Yeah.
But I had prayer at that time, so I did the prayer and still went to the appointment regardless. And normally a 1 month process took about 5 days. So yeah, and then I got my visa and I was able to go on my trip.
Yeah. So when we involve the Lord, basically, when we do things in Krishna consciousness, we understand that everything belongs to the Lord and everything happens because He desires. If He desires, then miracles happen. Yeah.
A couple years ago, I used to volunteer for distress and suicide hotline, and I'd get a lot of difficult calls, like people being suicidal, and it was very intense. And obviously, I didn't get paid for it, but like I gained so much just trying to help people in times of like need. And like I have this one story where there was a guy that called me. And he was like in the middle of a field, and he's like, I have like a bottle of pills, I'm gonna, And then I didn't know what to say, like I just froze, like on the phone.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
you cannot be attached here to any results. It's a very specific and difficult duty to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, are you okay? He had to break up the silence, but I think that taught me to, like, we live to give, and I wish we had more time to volunteer and give back to the community, even though it's kind of expensive to live and we're working like really hard to just survive.
Yeah.
But I just wish we had more time to like.
So how does that knowledge help, for example, if you take this situation as an example, how can Krishna consciousness or devotional service help? What would be like your realization from this?
That like we all need each other, and like
I would say, like, what would help you to perform your duty without thinking of happiness or distress? Because it's a lot of stress in this job, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's just to help another soul on its journey.
Yeah. Just by remembering to whom it all belongs, right? Who is in control.
Right.
Yeah, and if in your mind, when you're talking, doing your duty, you dedicate it to the Lord, and you understand that everything will happen according to your will, not my will.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a devotional service, because you're turning to Him. You stop thinking, oh, this is I'm doing. This depends only on me.
Right.
And if something goes wrong, that I'm guilty here. So you can perform your duty, but Krishna says, do it equipoised, without thinking of happiness or distress, because it's possible. And it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It's because we're living in the material world. It's possible. So continue doing what you're doing, but do it in the service to the Lord. Yeah, this is the message. Yeah, good examples. Thank you. Okay, so let's read one more text, and then there will be time for questions if you have any. Yeah.
नेहाभिक्रमानासोऽस्ति प्रत्यव्यो न विद्यते स्वल्पम् अपि अस्य धर्मस्य त्रयते महतो भायत. In this endeavor there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Activity in Krishna consciousness, or acting for the benefit of Krishna without expectation of sense gratification, is the highest transcendental quality of work. Even a small beginning of such activity finds no impediment, nor can that small beginning be lost at any stage. Any work begun on the material plane has to be completed, otherwise the whole attempt becomes a failure. But any work begun in Krishna consciousness has a permanent effect, even though not finished. The performer of such work is therefore not at a loss, even if his work in Krishna consciousness is incomplete. 1% done in Krishna consciousness bear permanent results, so that the next beginning is from the point of 2%. Whereas in material activity without 100% success, there is no profit. Ajamila performed his duty in some percentages of Krishna consciousness, but the result he enjoyed at the end was 100%. By the grace of the Lord. There is a nice verse in this connection in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yep, somebody can continue. Pass.
त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं करानं भुजं हरे भजम् अपाको थापते ततो यदि यत्र कवावन्द्रम् अभूत अमुष्या किं को वर्ता अपो bhajatam svadharmata. If someone gives up his occupational duties and works in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? And what can one gain if one performs his material activities perfectly? Or as the Christian says, what profiteth a man if he gains the whole world yet suffer the loss of his eternal soul? Material activities and their results end with the body, but work in Krishna consciousness carries a person again to Krishna consciousness. Even after the loss of the body, at least one is sure to have a chance in the next life of being born again as a human being, either in the family of a great culture Brahma or in rich aristocratic family that will give one a further chance for elevation. This is the unique quality of work done in Krishna consciousness.
In other words, there is no loss in Krishna consciousness, and we don't have to be perfect. While in material activities, if you're not done, like your work 99.9% well, there is a great opportunity for big loss. So this is the message, and also it says that the highest transcendental quality of work is when we work without sense gratification or expectation of the sense gratification. Yeah, meaning that we are not again attaching to the result. And we are not attached to the result. What happens here? When we're performing our duties without sense gratification, what will be the beauty of that? Why is it transcendental? Because there is no... It is directly devotional to the Lord. And how do we feel when we are in that process of... Yeah, there is no fear. There is no fear. Imagine your life without fear. Does anyone want such life? No fear? Okay, great. So next time we will continue reading Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna will explain to us further. What are your realizations from today's reading? What are you taking with you? What did you realize today, which is so important? Without, yes. Do your best, yes, irrespectful of the result. Yeah, irrespectful, I would say, of the circumstances that are not ideal, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Anything else? Yes? Get up with determination and fight. So what is it about for you? What do you like about it?
Whenever you feel like lazy, not able to do our duty or something, you feel like it's not our control.
Yeah.
Push and try.
Yeah. What happens to our determination when we think it's out of our control?
Sometimes we get motivated to do, sometimes we get demotivated.
It fluctuates. Yeah, so it's not stable. The determination is not stable. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 So it gives us that determination to move on, to fight, right? If we are not attached to the result. Yeah. Yeah. And another question, will it help? Do you think it will, if it helps, right, to give up the control? If we continue working with determination, regardless of the result? Yeah. Yeah. So why do you think we control? Question for everyone. Why do you think we control? What is underneath? Right. And the fear of failure is based on what? Lack of trust. Lack of trust. Yeah. So why we study Bhagavad Gita? To establish that connection so that we re-establish our trust. Because relationship is about trust. Any relationship. Now we are building it with the Lord.